Just act naturally, just be yourself, and answer the questions honestly. Now, this is possibly the worst advice you could probably ever have in preparation for your behavioural styles questionnaire and your situational judgment test, which is part of the National Sift, the first stage in applying to be a police officer in England and Wales. If you're applying in the Metropolitan Police, you just have a behavioural styles questionnaire. It's just their own. They don't do the National Sift. I don't know why. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why those 3 bits of advice that they actually give you from the College of Policing is the worst advice ever. I'm going to talk to you about the sort of things that you'll be asked to answer in the behavioural styles questionnaire and in the situational judgment test. And pin your ears back, folks, because if you get to the end of this video, I'm going to make you an offer that you won't be able to resist, completely free, completely complimentary, as a reward, as a thank you for spending 10 minutes of your busy life to watch this video. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. So introducing myself, my name is Brendan from Bluelight, and over the past 30 years I've been coaching people just like you to succeed in the police recruitment process, supporting people who are already in the police to succeed in specialist interviews, in promotion boards. There's not much I don't know about the recruitment process or the promotion process, and now I'm very blessed to have this amazing big team around me as well. So there's plenty of us. There's several of us. Combined, we've got over 200 years of management experience in the police, over 200 years of coaching experience in the police, which is more important. And the way we do that, we offer our academy program, which is made up of one-to-ones, small group webinars, loads of online material, and a pass guarantee. How about that? We actually guarantee the pass. If you don't pass, we'll keep working with you. If you don't pass the second time, we'll give you a full refund. I mean, how fair is that? Can we be any fairer than that? All right, well, anyway, let's dive in. So, behavioural styles questionnaire, situational judgment test. These are the first sift, and it's actually what's on the side of the tin. They call it National Sift. It is actually a sift to bring the numbers down, because there's so many people applying to join the police and there's not enough places for all of them. Even in the Met Police, only 8% of all applicants actually succeed. For smaller county forces, the odds are against you. I mean, we've got to make sure that we stack the odds for us to make sure that we get through every stage first time. Because it's not that we have people come into our academy who've failed their online assessment centre before. Sometimes they've got really bad marks. They might have failed their final interview before, had terrible feedback, but in their heart they believe they're going to make an amazing police officer. And when we speak to them, we find that actually, yeah, they're police constable ready, they're just not police assessment centre and interview ready. So for all of those people who've failed in the past, especially the online SIFT, don't get disheartened. It doesn't mean to say that you'll never be a police officer. It just means you will be a police officer, you're just not very good at passing police assessment centres, police interviews. It's just like GCSEs. Some people were made for GCSEs and GCSEs were made for them. Small number, we're all small number. And then there's everyone else. There's all of us who we have to work really hard and make sure that we prepare for GCSEs, A-levels, all of the exams that you might be doing now or you might have done recently. For me, that was a while back. I called them O-levels back then. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's get back to the situational judgment test and the behavioural styles questionnaire. So behavioural styles questionnaire, what is this all about? This is where you're going to be asked to completely disagree, to completely agree, or hang on, completely disagree to completely agree on certain statements. So the statements might be something like, I am good at mathematics, or I find mathematics easy, or I find the analytical part of mathematics easy. And you're thinking, why is he talking about maths? Well, apparently a lot of the questions are around maths, and I don't get it neither. I mean, I was a police officer for 3 decades. Hardest math I ever had to do was adding up and taking away. And that was for my budget when I was an inspector. There's no other math involved, but anyway, whatever. Might be asked questions about empathy, your creativity, mental strength, decision-making capability, adaptability to change, setting high standards. And like I said, it goes from completely disagree to completely agree. It's like a scalar. And in the middle is like a neither disagree or agree. Now, if you answer all of those questions correctly as the real yourself now, like you're acting naturally, you're just being yourself, you're answering the questions honestly, there is a good chance you might fail, because you see, the thing is, they're assessing you against the competency and values framework to be a police officer. And you're not a police officer yet. You've got all sorts of traits and bad habits that you might have picked up throughout your life, not unethical ones, just things that you either do or don't do, that when you answer that question honestly, you may find that you fail, because you're acting naturally, you're answering it honestly, you're answering the question as you would deal with things in the here and now, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the best avatar of the future constable you. So we are going to answer the questions honestly, but as the best version of our future constable self. And we're going to answer the questions as if we were the best version of our future constable self. Does that make sense? All right, awesome. National Sift also contains the situational judgment test. Now, this is where they're going to give you a scenario and a selection of different responses, and they're going to ask you which ones will be effective, ineffective, counterproductive, answers like that. And, you know, two of the possibilities could be both effective or could be both counterproductive. It's not about having to spread them all out in order. It's just deciding which one of those solutions, which one of those approaches is one of those things. Now, again, if you are answering those questions as the person you are today, you could fall foul of exactly the thing I've spoken about. And let me give you an example of the sort of question you might get. So it may be something along the lines of, you're in the locker room and you overhear two of your colleagues talking about an officer who's just joined, and she's got 2 months service in, and one of them says to the other, I don't know where they're getting these new recruits from. She's absolutely hopeless. Actually, do you know, I'm not even sure if I can work with her. She's such a mess. You know, some derogatory comment actually might even be bordering on misogynistic, but certainly showing that individual a lack of respect. But she's not there, and you're the only one who's heard it, and they don't know that you were in the locker room. As far as I'm concerned, it was just the two of them. So what do you do? Now, if you're in the workplace now, realistically, my guess is what you'd probably do is just say, hey, come on, it's not fair. She's only got 2 months service in. You know, it's not a really nice thing to say. And they'll go, oh, yeah, you're right. Or, oh, what do you know? Or whatever the response is. And you'll probably leave it at that. You may mention it to your supervisor, but would you really? Probably not, actually. Or maybe you would. I don't know. But the thing is, if that's where you stopped, that's not what they're looking for. The Code of Ethics makes it really clear that if you hear anything that is potentially misconduct, and this is showing another person on your team a lack of respect, it's not serious misconduct. No one's going to get papered for this. But if I was a sergeant, I'd want to know about that attitude. What do you mean if I was a sergeant? I was a sergeant. I'd want to know about that attitude. I'd want to know that those officers have got that sort of level of lack of respect for people who are just coming out of training school. And so what the Code of Ethics says is, if you hear anything like that, you've got a responsibility to challenge it. Okay, that's what you said you'd do. Question it. Why did they behave like that? And thirdly, report it. So that's the one that's most effective. And you might be thinking, oh, that's not going to be that effective because they'll know that I've grassed them up. And especially if I say to them that I'm going to go and speak to the sergeant, oh, I don't like that, that's not very effective. And you might put that down as ineffective or counterproductive, when actually it is the most effective response that you can make. Now, I'm not saying the reality of policing is such that you would go and speak to your sergeant about that. I think if it was a pattern of behaviour, I'd like to know as a sergeant. But, you know, realistically, people have bad days, and people sometimes make comments which are, I know, throwaway, banter. I do want to know about most of them, but where the line is very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So the reality is, you might just have a word with them and may say nothing to the sergeant, and no one would disrespect you for that. However, that's not what the National Sift is looking for. The best version of your future constable self, if 100% of your DNA was College of Policing DNA, not real world policing DNA. And this is how we pass the National Sift. Or like I said before, if it's for the Metropolitan Police, the BSQ. Now, if you've stayed with us this long, it means that you're really interested in this, and you're really interested in passing first time, and you're the sort of person who's going to invest their time in learning how to pass this process. So what I'm going to do for you as a thank you is I'm going to give you access to our National Sift course. It's an online course with several modules and practice papers as well. You've got practice BSQ, practice situational judgment test, and this is the thing that gets all of our clients that are in our academy through the Sift. We want them to get through the Sift so we can work with them for the online assessment center. And you might be thinking, well, why is he doing this? Well, look, I'll be honest, I want you to pass. We take great pleasure out of people who we help support pass, but I'd also like to build up a relationship with you so that you get to see the quality of what we provide. And then from there, some of you, all of you, maybe a handful of you, whatever, may come and join us on the Academy program. Now, the Academy program is far more intense. It involves one-to-ones, it involves small group webinars, it involves a lot more online material, but we not just prepare you for the Sift with one-to-ones, we prepare you for the online assessment center as well. Because as soon as you finish the Sift, might be a couple of days before you get the answers to whether you passed or not, and it may be on the same day that you get notification to do your online assessment center that week. I mean, that happens, by the way, that happens. So we want you to be prepared. We love working with people in the Academy program. If you check the description below, you'll see a link to our Trustpilot site where you'll see what people say. Don't just take my word for it. See what other people who've gone before you have said about what we do and how we do it for them. So some of you may come and join the Academy, some of you won't. But anyway, either way, it's my gift for you. Now, the way to get that gift is just to email me at Brendan, B-R-E-N-D-A-N, at bluelightconsultancy.com. So that's B-R-N-D-A-N, Brendan, at bluelightconsultancy.com. Blue is spelt like the colour, light spelt like the English version of light, L-I-G-H-T, and consultancy, the normal spelling. It's all one word, Bluelight Consultancy, I know, long.com. Email me and ask, say you've watched the YouTube video, can I please have the National Sift complimentary, and we will give you access to that course complimentary. If you've got this far, thank you so much. You are seriously interested in passing this process first time. Thank you for your investing your time, and thank you for joining me on this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon on one of our Ask Brendan Anything webinars. These are the weekly webinars I hold just for Academy members. It's like a fireside chat where we talk about anything that's problematic in the recruitment process for you. We've got you covered. We've got your backs here. And I'll see you on one of those very soon. Bye-bye for now.